And in business news, the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee has shared a total of 1.4 trillion naira among the federal government, states and local government councils for October. FAAC, in a communique made available by the Director of Press and Public Relations, Mr. Bawa Mokwa, said the revenue was shared at the November meeting of FAAC held in Bauchi State and chaired by Accountant General of the Federation, Mrs. Oluwatoyin Maidin. According to the communique, the 1.41 trillion naira total revenue comprised statutory revenue of 206.3 billion naira, value-added tax of 622.3 billion naira. It also comprised electronic money transfer levy revenue of 17.1 billion naira and exchange difference revenue of 566 billion naira. Now, a total gross revenue of 2.6 trillion naira was available in October. From the 1.4 trillion total revenue, the federal government received 433.021 billion naira, states got 490.6 billion naira, and local governments received 355.6 billion naira and 132.4 billion naira, and that's for 13% mineral revenue was shared to benefiting states as derivation revenue. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has introduced the Utapate crude oil blend, its newest crude oil grade, to the international market. Now, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer of the NNPCL, Mr. Olufemi Shoneye, said the crude blend was initially launched in July 2024 in collaboration with Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited. During a ceremony at the Argus European Crude Conference in London, United Kingdom, the Managing Director at NPC E&P, Mr. Nicholas Fokat, described the introduction of the Utapate crude oil blend into the market as a significant milestone for Nigeria's crude oil exports to the global energy market. He said the blend's favorable reception internationally, crediting its premium qualities, while highlighting that the oil mining lease 13, fully operational by NEPL and SEPCO subsidiary and Natural Oil Field Services Limited, hold substantial reserves, including 330 million barrels of crude oil, 45 million barrels of condensate, and 3.5 trillion cubic feet of gas. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, says the ministry is addressing the fears of states about environmental degradation by ensuring that mining companies comply with stipulated standards. The minister said this at the closing of the 9th Nigeria Mining Week in Abuja. He said there were departments responsible for overseeing the operations of the operators and had the veto to make sure that the operators comply with environmental standards and regulations. The minister added that the move is aimed at addressing reports of subnational interference and involving overregulation of the sector and multiple taxes imposed by state governments, among other issues. He urged mining stakeholders to think out of the box and introduce innovations and initiatives to address challenges, stating that concerted efforts were required to develop the sector. The Securities and Exchange Commission says 1.6 trillion naira has been raised by banks through e-offerings in the recapitalization exercise. Director General of SEC, Dr. Emitomi Agama, said this in a statement made available in Lagos. It will be recalled that the Central Bank of Nigeria in March released new guidelines on the minimum capital requirements for banks operating in the country. That's from 50 billion naira to 500 billion naira, depending on the type of license held by the bank. In a total of approximately 4.14 trillion naira, which is expected to be raised by March 31st, 2026, which is the deadline. The recapitalization exercise aims at strengthening the financial institutions and achieving President Bola Tinubu's $1 trillion economic target. The Director General said the launch of the e-offering platform had been instrumental to the success of the exercise so far, and stated that the Commission will continue to employ technology from different angles to aid its work and ensure a deeper capital market. Well, Asians' equities fell today after AI darling Nvidia disappointed investors with slower revenue growth expectations, while the dollar firmed and Bitcoin hit a record high. Buoyed by hopes about U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's policies, Nasdaq futures slipped 0.31%. S&P 500 futures eased 0.21%. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan fell 0.46%, with tech-heavy Taiwan stocks down 0.58%. Japan's Nikkei fell 0.8%. Futures indicated European bourses were set for a slightly higher open, with Eurostock 50 futures up 0.13%. German DAX futures climbing 0.33%. FTSE futures 0.31% firmer. Elsewhere in Asia, stocks in China inched lower, while Hong Kong Hang Seng fell 0.25% as the market remains range-bound, even as some global funds follow domestic money into market segments sheltered from tariffs. Well, Bitcoin marched towards $100,000 as investors bet a friendlier U.S. regulatory approach to cryptocurrencies under President-elect Donald Trump, which we believe will unleash a boom era for the assets class. Now, Bitcoin prices now topped $96,000 for the first time in Asian trade, touching a height just above $96,898. The cryptocurrency price has more than doubled this year and is up about 40% in 2 weeks since Trump's election victory and the next U.S. president and a slew of pro-crypto lawmakers were elected to Congress. The U.S. president-elect embraced digital assets during his campaign, promising to make the United States the crypto capital of the planet and to accumulate a national stockpile of Bitcoin. More than $4 billion has been streamed into U.S.-listed Bitcoin exchange-traded fund since the election, and crypto-related stocks have been soaring, along with Bitcoin price and shares in Bitcoin miner Mara Holdings were up nearly 14% overnight, among others. The 2024 World Internet Conference Regime Summit kicked off in the Asian water town of Wuzhen in East China's Zhejiang province. Now, the 2024 edition is themed Embracing a People-Centered and AI for Good digital future, building a community with a shared feature in cyberspace, which includes 24 sub-forums on topics such as global development initiatives, digital economy and artificial intelligence technology governance, along with series of activities. President Xi Jinping, in his opening remarks at the conference, said the new wave of technological revolution and industrial transformation is rapidly advancing and is calling for more efforts at embracing internet-based and smart development trends. The conference attracted tech companies from around the world to explore opportunities. Crude oil prices climbed on today as geopolitical concerns over escalating tensions between Russia and Ukraine outweigh the impact of a bigger than expected increase in U.S. crude inventories. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude sells for $69.70 with an upsurge of 1.38%. Brent experienced an upward margin of 1.25% to sell at $73.72. Bonnie Light sells for $78.62 with a downward price margin of 2.84%. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers offer $72.56 with an uptick of 1.91%.